What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Anti-Gravity Group podcast. My name is Braden Carlson.
My name is Taylor.
My name is Shane, or as you might know me, Postart.
And I'm Macho Matt.
And Taylor is back in his usual space with his usual technology. So, sorry about that last episode's audio quality. If you're just coming off that episode and you managed to still want to listen to this podcast, we truly appreciate you.
Yeah, I was pretty peed off last week on account of none of my S was working.
Yeah, dude, it was really apparent as I was editing the video throughout the entire recording of the second one. It was pretty clear that you wanted nothing to do with it by the end of that point. So, but we're all in good spirits because even though you're hearing this later, we are recording this right before Shane and I go to Kansas City so we can build a 10-inch Nike Smoke. So we're all fired up. It's almost rocket building time. It's going to be a good time.
The speed build of the year.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. That's a tight little schedule for this type situation.
Yeah. I'm feeling good about it, though. I'm feeling a little too confident.
Nah, I think we got this, dude. Like, think about how fast we built the Punisher. Like, with just you, me, and Matt, that thing was pretty much done in one day. At least all the, like, major construction of it.
Yeah. I mean, I say overly confident in that. I truly believe it, but it just it seems like a bad way to go into it.
Yeah, people from the outside, after we don't get it done, are going to be like, well, obviously you idiots.
Yeah, what were you thinking? You had 5 days.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Postart, you want to tell them real quick? I mean, this is going to come out later, but I'm sure you won't have the video out by then. Postart's already started the rocket building party, and Matt's been on that train too. Actually, Taylor has as well. I'm the only one that's not playing.
Yeah, I started working on a rocket today for the first time in God knows how long. Finally started building. Yeah, maybe actually. Finally started building the 7.5-inch Fat Boy that needs to be built in like 4 days. I think I'm gonna paint it at your house, Taylor.
Dude, you're just getting warmed up for the speed build that we're doing for the.
You can use my leftover paint.
Oh, sick! Yeah.
Dang, there you go. See, it's all fallen into place just fine.
Can I paint my Skeeter at your place too?
Sure.
We can play like spray paint tag. You know.
No,
no, we should play that.
I'm gonna spray it in your eyes.
Oh, you win.
I'm still trying to decide if I think I have the bandwidth to try and build my Skeeter at your house, Taylor. But
I can help you.
I don't think Shane is going to have his done, and also the logistics of just carrying 2 of those things across the country.
Yeah, I must say, after it's built, it's pretty dumb. Like, it takes up a lot of room.
The footprint's absurd. Yeah. So, listen, I'm not in any rush to get that thing ready to have to try and cram it in the car. We're bringing so much stuff anyway that,
Of course, you could build it and leave it here.
I was actually kind of thinking about transporting another Argonia rocket to you. And I was like, what do I want to fly? Maybe at Midwest Power or something. But I mean, the V2 is broken now, and I'm obviously not going to fix that in the next 2 days. That was kind of but that rocket's great for here because it'll stay low. And I can just keep repairing the fins over and over because it's a lake bed, and that will be a ton of fun. Anyway, this isn't the topic of today's discussion. Today, we're talking about big launches because Ed sent us an email and asked about procedures for attending your first big high power launch. You could say LDRS, Airfest, NSL, or even just a pretty big regional launch. If you come from a small club like Shane and I grew up with, where a big launch is 20 people, it can be pretty overwhelming when you go to an actual big launch and there's 500 registered flyers. So, for those who have never been to a big launch, this one's for you. Honestly, now I'm thinking about it, would have made more sense to release this before Airfest, but apply all of this logic to LDRS next year in Indiana. Okay, just keep that ready, or come to Midwest Power if you want to exercise all this stuff. But anyway, what I've done is I've copy pasted his email into the paper, as we've lovingly come to know it on this podcast, which is a Google document. So, but yeah, we're just gonna tackle this completely unscripted, dude. We will do it live, except for we're not live. At least we shouldn't be. Did anyone check that? Sometimes it do be happening like that. But
no,
I unchecked it, but that one time it was just like, yeah, no, it's it does say upcoming. Let's talk about. It says waiting for Rocket Vlogs to start live streaming. So I don't know why that's there.
Don't say that.
We'll worry about that later. I'm gonna actually
burn that bridge when we get to it.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and delete that right now as a matter of fact. And then we will move on with our lives. I also, because we're leaving soon, am not planning on editing pretty much anything out of this podcast. So everybody be on their best behavior. And sorry you just had to listen to me try and figure out why it says we're live streaming. Anyway, let's talk about this, huh? So Ed sent us this email. The first thing he asks is, how much time should you budget to simply just view the variety of launches? You can address other things to do below. And that's kind of an interesting one because, like, growing up, my intention of going to a big launch was never just to go there to look at stuff, but, like, that is a big part of it. We just don't really think about it that much because whether or not you're flying something big or super fast or super gnarly, there's a pretty good chance with a big launch you'll run into it happening. So the question is, how much time do you budget for that?
I think if you come from a club that you've only been to like pretty small monthly launches and you go to like Airfest or LDRS, you can eat like, even if you come planning to fly rockets, it's going to be like super overwhelming in a good way, but like you could almost watch the entire time just because there's so much action, and it's going to be like, oh my god, this is crazy.
I mean, that's kind of what I've done a bunch of times. Granted, I'm there to shoot video of it, but like LDRS 38, I didn't fly anything. LDRS in New York, I didn't fly anything. I flew something in Wisconsin, I guess, and 39 and 40, but I'm probably not going to fly anything in Indiana unless I can figure out that rocket I was just talking about to leave at Taylor's house. But, maybe the competitor. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, you could fly it high.
Because I have the Delamar here. I don't really need, like, the full genre of 4-inch stuff that's tall and flies on big motors. I have that other top secret Lock Precision prototype that I can't talk about that's 4-inch as well. So maybe the competitor does need to. Plus, it's from the Midwest. Maybe it needs to live there. I like it, though. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty sick.
It's not like I'm flying it a lot here or anything at all. Anyway, I mean, if your local club is comfortable for you to fly and you can just drive 45 minutes and go fly pretty much anything in your high power fleet, then allocate as much time as you want for just watching. You can go just to watch if you really want to. Obviously, if you're going to fly like something super high altitude that your club doesn't have a waiver for, or like the recovery area is significantly better for doing something a little bit bigger or higher, then there's those things to take into consideration. But if you really just want to go mostly for the show, then do it. Nobody's going to give you S for that. Actually, one person gave me S for it a lot, but then it was before like people started watching my videos. So he was like, you just came here to watch? I was like, yeah.
And like LDRs especially, like it's always a good time if you're far away and you just fly in to watch. Like it's always going to be enough going on that you can just hang out with your friends and watch some rockets.
I've been to Midwest Power now 3 times, but I think I've only flown. No, I guess I flew the V2, but I did go once and not fly anything. It's just a good time. Plus, then we get to go into Chicago. It's a good time.
I think for a definitive answer, if I would say maybe just bring enough for one rocket per day, and then whatever happens. That's enough to not be like have an overwhelmed plan going into it.
Yeah, that's a lot. 1 a day. I'm at like 1 a launch, dude. It
depends what size rockets, I guess, but
not for me. Not for me. Look what happened last time I tried to fly 2 rockets at one launch. Competitor went fine. Beaumark's dead now. I'm just saying. You know?
Okay, so my recommendation, 1 rocket per day. Braden's recommendation, 1/2 to 1 rocket.
Right. Yeah. Don't even spend money on rockets. That's my recommendation. Just save it for beer money and then go watch some rockets. It's a good time.
And Matt, what's your recommendation? Just put one on the ground?
No, you need to try not to do that. I mean, are we still answering the original question?
Yeah, how much time would you budget?
How much time I did?
1 rocket flight per day is worth is Taylor's recommendation, which I can see why that's a little bit of a confusing suggestion, but you know.
Yeah, I feel like 2 is nice. You know,
You've never been to a big launch before. Imagine your very first Airfest. What were you thinking going into it?
oh, well, I didn't have a lot of rockets at that time, so I just brought the one and I was like, yeah, I don't know. I think I spent maybe 2 days observing. Right?
There you go. So 1 per launch weekend. That's perfect. That's where I'm at
Yeah.
too.
Okay, how about this? Just bring a rocket. If you fly it, awesome. If you don't, you're still going to have a good time. There we go.
Yeah.
I'd say bring 2 rockets, but same philosophy.
All right.
We did
it. He says, what should you bring as far as comfort, food, and other necessities? This is a really good one to hit on for large rocket launches because
a rocket launch staple of growing up with me and my grandpa when we'd go to launches, just starve the entire day.
Yep.
And then just gorge yourself in the evening and I drink water.
That's pretty much what I do anyway still, but
yeah,
for the most part, yeah, I mean, having snacks is a really good thing. Some people are like adamant about having like a lunchtime break and having a full-blown meal. If that's what you want to do it. But one thing to really consider is whether or not there's on-site food vendors as you're packing, because Airfest has some of the best ones out there, but some launches, even fairly big ones, don't have food vendors at all.
For me, it's just like a bonus. I think when there's not really food, I don't think about it. But then when there's a food vendor, I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. I'm going to go get food every day.
Definitely plan on bringing cash, I think. I mean, yeah, that's probably
yeah, there's always that chance there is a food vendor and they may only take cash. Although most places have card, but there's sometimes there's issue with card readers and cell signal and that type of thing.
Yeah, being out in the middle of nowhere can be a little bit of a problem for. So if you have cash, that's always a good thing to have. Let's talk about comfort. If you have the room to bring a canopy and the wherewithal and bandwidth to put it up, it's highly recommended. Especially if it's a multi-day adventure. What we do is we leave the frames of the canopies up and then take the covers off so they don't get blown away. And the little tent stakes that you use to put canopies in the ground, throw those in the trash. And I highly recommend getting either like big lag bolts, depending on what the surface is, or really big tent stakes, or the threaded ones, something that's like really definitively into the ground, and then attach the canopy to the ground with ratchet straps. It's just the best way to go because it really hangs on. Eric's giant tent at NSL would have been miles away if not for all the ratchet straps holding it down. Yeah. And it certainly tried anyway, but we managed to keep the fort down. Because Eric was gone and we were like, oh, where are more ratchet straps? Where's any of this? We were just panicking, digging through stuff.
If you don't have room for a canopy though, umbrella. It's good enough and it works.
Yeah. And definitely bring chairs. And if you're going to be flying a rocket, a folding table is always a good idea.
Yeah. The chairs and table, very easy to overlook.
Yeah, and it'll make or break your experience for sure. If you're just
especially at a big launch.
Right. If it's just like a single day thing, like especially with the hatchback, the Fiesta, I'll just like set stuff up in the trunk of it if I'm just going to fly real quick and leave or whatever. But if you're doing a multi-day and you're just trying to work all out of the back of your car, it's a tough time. So the folding table, even if you can only get a small one, like I drive a tiny car, so although that thing has been known to have a shocking amount of packing volume for how small it is, but other necessities to bring with you. What else do we got?
Trash bag.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That'll really mess up your time if you forget the trash bag.
Yeah. Oh, like baby wipes, or I highly recommend Tub of Towels wipes for cleaning hardware, cleaning really anything. The Tub of Towels works really good for like cleaning epoxy up as well. They're a little pricey, but pretty worth it.
Oh, what I've been forgetting. Well, I would always make a note to bring it forever, and then I feel like the last 2 years I just keep forgetting it. But big stick.
Yeah,
big
for
stick.
ribbon motors.
Yeah. That is a
push
good
motors
one.
out, clean motors. I don't know, fish stuff out. The uses are endless, but like a nice 1 inch to like 1.25 inch dowel.
Yep. Okay. Anything else that we can immediately think of? We have a lot of Patreon input as well that we can
sunscreen
touch on.
Yeah,
later.
definitely sunscreen.
Yeah,
water,
man, sunscreen
cooler.
for sure. Cooler if you have the space. Yeah, it's a really good one because you're going to want, like, a necessity is to bring way more water than you think you need.
Yeah.
Or Diet Dr. Pepper. You can substitute that out for water if you want. But I think generally that's not recommended. That's just a thing that we do. But all right, we'll circle back on that as we think of things. If anyone thinks of anything, just feel free to say it. He says how to go about interacting with other attendees, with vendors, with hosts, or anyone else. I mean, about 99% of the time, it's a rocket launch. So the people there are all there to do the same thing, right? So everyone's generally pretty friendly. Every once in a while, you get the person that's like, can you not distract me? I'm prepping my rocket. Which, you know, we could talk about that guy for days. He prefaced in his email, he's like, oh, how do I not be that guy at a big rocket launch? Start by not being that particular guy. If someone comes to talk to you, you know, just be polite, please.
Yeah, and you can always, if you're really in the middle of something, you can just, you know, be a person and say, hey, sorry, I'm in the middle of prepping my rocket, but if you come back later, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, I've definitely had some, I'm doing something right now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, that's kind of sassy.
Or the extremely passive aggressive, man, I really love it when people try to talk to me while I'm prepping a rocket.
Oh boy, that's a no.
Yeah, that's a certified classic right there, dude. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. He also says in a similar vein, he says questions to ask and who to ask them to. Generally, like the registration tent is a good place to ask questions if you've got them. Usually the volunteers or the people running the show will know those answers or know who to direct you to for them. But I mean, I don't really have any questions that just like immediately you should be asking people on the top of my
Well, I mean,
dome.
if you have like a launch, like a question that would be directed at the launch director, then yeah, like a registration tent. If it's just like a general question, ask someone that looks like they know, like they might have answers.
Any input, Math or Shane?
I mean, I think, you know, everyone's there to have a good time. So if you contribute to that some way or another, you know, like talk about your rockets or ask what they're flying or what you're like, oh, that really big launch was pretty cool. I don't know. That's
Right,
input.
good.
That's input.
Great.
Mashed potatoes right now.
Okay.
Okay, Matt, you need to lock in.
Oh,
Okay, he says, should you try to launch or just watch? In other words, how much does launching detract from viewing other launches or interacting otherwise? If you do launch, what type of rocket/motor would you suggest for a newcomer? I mean, yeah, it is going to detract very substantially from your ability to watch other flights when you're prepping and flying and recovering. That's I run into a lot where people are like, "Hey, did you get a video of my rocket? I flew at this." And I'm like, "No, like I was in the middle of a field," which there's a Patreon comment that we're going to discuss that a little bit later. But I mean, yeah, it just depends on how much is going on. Like, take a look around, go see what people are planning on flying. If there's something you don't want to miss, then if you feel like you've got another opportunity to fly your rocket and it's not that big of a deal if you don't fly it at this launch, then that's your call. It's always cool to be able to say, yeah, like I flew this rocket at this big launch if you want to like have that sort of credibility. But otherwise, if you ain't feeling it, you ain't feeling it. It's no big deal.
And if you really like don't want to miss anything, but you still want to fly rockets, something easy to prep like motor deploy that doesn't go too high, like a mini mag. That's something that's really easy to prep and fly and have a good time, and it's going to land close enough that you're not really going to miss anything.
Right. Yeah. Or if you're going to do like a big complex project, try and do what we did with the Arcus where it just hits the pad it took off from, because that like made recovering it way easier.
Yeah. We should try to do that again.
I think we should. Yeah. Let's do it with the Nike Smoke.
I think one thing I want to add to that, like maybe this is just more of a side effect of launching rockets, but when you launch rocket and you have to go out and recover it, depending on where you're recovering it from, can give you a kind of an interesting perspective on other rockets that are launching. So, sometimes, I don't know, it's kind of interesting seeing that off in the distance, or sometimes you're maybe a little bit, well, you're not ever like close where you shouldn't be, but I don't know. I know that's maybe not exactly the best thing, but
something that I wish I would have sometimes is like a
radio.
Yeah,
to tune into
most big launches I would feel like have like it's broadcast on FM, so you could hear what's going on while you're recovering.
Is it also broadcast over like a walkie channel at Airfest like they do at Balls?
That I don't know.
Yeah, because that would be cool. It is kind of cool to see big rockets from like far away.
Yeah.
Because then you're especially like a lot of times I'm huge.
like, I wonder what that was, because it was awesome.
Yeah.
The context helps it, like appreciate it.
But okay, he says, oh yeah, sorry. To recap that. Keep it simple if you're worried about missing cool stuff. Fly low, fly motor deploy, something that's really easy to prep. If you can do all of your prep before you get to the launch site, that's like the golden ticket, right? Because then if you've got a rocket that's flying low and you just show up with it ready to go, pop her off in the morning, because I guarantee, like us, people that are doing big or high projects aren't going to be ready first thing in the morning unless they're Wayne and Sharon. They just always are ready in the morning. But for the most part, if you fly a rocket within the waivers, like instantly as the waiver opens and you get it back within like 15 minutes, you're not going to miss anything very, very big. Okay,
I would say...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say one thing. If you are planning on using electronics for your first flight, maybe not. Ultimately, like bringing charges or ejection charges prepared ahead of time would definitely help cut down, like simplify the setup time.
Yeah, that's a subject that's touchy to advise on, because the thought of bringing a safety, ready to go ejection charge is sketchy to a lot of people. And then some people will drive, like, say, from Idaho to Kansas City with a rocket fully ready to fly with ejection charges attached to electronics and everything. It may have done that multiple times.
I see.
Very possible. Postart, have you ever heard anyone doing something like that?
I think a time or two. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, just do whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I maybe wouldn't advise doing that with any real big charges of any significant size.
Yeah.
I don't like doing it with the big charges, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you mathed out? This is a derailment. Have you mathed out how big the charges are going to be roughly for the Nike? I feel like they're going to be pretty good size.
Not yet, but I'm guessing nothing stupid. Kind of like the Punisher. You know, I mean, bigger than I want to carry around, but
yeah, definitely. Okay,
probably
we'll move
like
on.
8 or 10 grams. Anyway,
he says where to stay overnight and what to consider in the place that you choose to stay. I highly advise for this particular question, whatever launch you're going to, find someone that routinely goes to those club launches and ask them specifically, because I've run into, I think it was for my level 3 flight. Yeah, because it was the year after LDRS was in Argonia the last time. I was staying with my friend who at the time lived in Wellington for LDRS 38, but he moved and I was driving. I went and stayed with friends in Salt Lake City and then drove straight from Salt Lake City to Argonia. It was like 18 hours or something like that. And then I still had to prep my electronics for my level 3 flight. So I just booked the cheapest hotel, which is the Travelodge by Wyndham there in Wellington. And anybody who's ever been to that hotel just cringed a little bit when I said that. It's okay though, because I was nervous about my continuity. So I took it all outside and set it down in the grass and powered everything up to make sure I had the right amount of beeps. So anybody at the hotel that was like vaguely sketchy got to watch me bring a beeping tube outside with a bunch of wires hanging out of it and set it down and just stare at it. So I immediately became the sketchy guy in that hotel. I don't think anyone was willing to mess with me after that. But yeah, people will tell you what hotels not to stay at. That is for sure. And I wish I had that foresight, because if you're going to stay in Wellington, stay at the Baymont. But if you're going to stay in Wellington, probably just don't. Probably just go ahead and don't.
Yeah, and book early, because
early.
Most of the time, these places are, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and there aren't that many options. So the earlier you can book, the better off you're going to be.
Dude, if it came down to at this point in my life, staying at the Baymont or the Travelodge, and that was it that was left, I think me as my current self would rather drive to Wichita every night. The Kansas Star is great for Airfest and Argonia in general, by the way. It's a little bit more of a drive than going to like Harper. Or it's not even Anthony, right? Harper's the flooded one?
No. Anthony was the flooded one.
Oh. It's 2 names. I can't. It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish we were staying there, though, because of the bowling alley. Although we don't really have room to take our bowling stuff anyway. But one of these days, one of these years, we're going, dude. Kyle, if you're listening, we're probably not going to be able to bring our bowling stuff. But we could go throw some house balls, dude. It's party. Okay. Ask people where to stay. What events besides launches are typically associated with the event? That really depends on the launch. Like, NSL this year was crazy because they rented out that Best Western Movie Manor, like the hotel drive-in, and they watched October Sky, and they have that like beer social the night before. Pretty much every night there was something going on extracurricularly. Thank you. At NSL this year.
Close.
Thanks, yeah. But I mean, some launches do stuff like LDRS. Obviously, you have the banquet and Traytech. Airfest, there's, you know, the CS Rocketry, Jambalaya, and I guess Wildman's thing is typically for like volunteers, right? I don't really know.
Yeah. But there's usually at least one night at Airfest where there's some sort of kind of party food thing going on, put on by somebody in the evening of one of the days. So,
and if not, it's at the AGG's hotel, dude. We're getting pizza. We're gonna go crazy.
Watching
dude,
some
Postart's
old
excited for the pizza place. It's open till like 2 a.m. in the casino.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I forgot about. We didn't know about that.
Matt and I went and hit the pho.
Yeah,
Well,
we got the pho.
Matt had pho at like midnight 30, and I had egg rolls. I can't believe you went for the whole bowl of pho at almost 1 in the morning. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was great. I thought it was really good.
I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there like, I'm really full, but that kind of looks like it would really hit the spot right now.
I'm just now realizing I had pho at LDRS and then there, so maybe that's been becoming a thing for me.
Well, that's why I suggested it when you got there. I was like, dude, we should go get pho.
Oh yeah.
When Matt landed, I was like, Taylor's not here and Postart's already eaten, so we can get crazy.
Perfect.
Dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Taylor never seems to be the person that's like, yeah, we just flew in or we just spent all day at a rocket launch. I'd like to go sit down at a restaurant and have pho.
Yeah, not really.
The Mexican food, though, is always the exception.
Yes.
You'll go to a sit-down restaurant for that. Okay. But yeah, I mean, generally, that's actually, there you go. We're circling back. That's a good question to ask when you get to a launch or, Facebook groups or newsletters or whatever. Find club members and say, hey, is there anything going on? If you go to Upstate Research Rocketry Group, is that what ERG stands for? Go to Penyan, walk around, see the giant pan. They made the world's largest pancake, I think, in the 70s. There's a cool little park where you can walk by the old water wheel. That place is so sick, dude. I want to go back just to go see that place again. I forget the rockets. I'm going to just start going to one rocket launch a year, but I'm going to be in the area for just 3 weeks. So I'll go to the rocket launch and then I'll just hang out, go see stuff.
Yeah, you can make a guidebook, what to do while you're in town.
That would be crazy, dude. Just like a annual newsletter.
Plan your rocket vacation.
Yeah, dude. It's like a AAA service, basically.
Yeah.
He says, what equipment should you bring, including electronics? Well, this kind of goes back on the essentials, but I guess that's more like comfort stuff. Bring any kind of tape you have sitting around at your house. If you're flying dual deploy, bring batteries, bring shear pins, bring a tracker is pretty much universally my answer. If you have one.
Small screwdrivers.
Yeah, dude, the iFixit Mako kit that you can get from my Amazon link in any of my videos. I'll even put it in this one, dude. The Amazon affiliate shopping link. We should do another rocketry toolkit thing. That was pretty fun. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
You don't want to save that for the holidays?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, actually. That makes the most sense. It's a good time to do it. Dude, yeah, that's actually a good one. We could, because then rocket people could just be like, here, look, we could do a couple budgets, and then rocket people can just be like, hey, loved one, watch this. And then there's just a list already made. You just click order it all, and boom, there you go. Shopping done. That's what we do around here. The Anti-Gravity Group Podcast. We make your life easy, so you don't have to. That's crazy. That is a crazy slogan. Other equipment. Matt, would you suggest a shovel, maybe? I wasn't sure if it was a good time to ask. He disappeared.
No, they got that. They got that covered at Cloud or at Airfest, Argonia.
All right. He's nailing it, folks. Yeah, I mean, other equipment, I don't really have a good answer.
Did we talk about folding chairs? Oh yeah, probably with the folding table.
Yeah, chairs, tables, screwdrivers. What else do we got? I'm sure there's going to be something that someone's going to put into Patreon that we're just obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
9-volt batteries? Did we already talk about that?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
don't specify 9-volt. People are going to have a meltdown.
Batteries. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if your lipos are dead, just stop at the Circle K or whatever it is in Argonia and pick up a new 2S lipo on your way to the launch site. Let me know how that goes.
You just rip them out of a vape pen or something.
Dude, that's
Just
half
kidding.
the experience. You stop at the gas station, you get a crispy crunchy chicken breakfast biscuit, you get a couple 9-volts that cost way too much money, you say hi to all the farmers eating breakfast there, and then you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pay $18 for 2 9-volts.
Yeah.
Walk out with a smile on your face.
For real,
Pretending that was fine.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Any sequence to the suggested events noted above. Oh, I think this is, I don't know what that's in reference to. Oh, I see. Any camera equipment, a must, type of camera, what to especially photograph or try not to. Honestly, man, if you're just like taking pictures and video for yourself, your phone's going to be more than good. I get asked a lot, like what the camera I shoot my videos on is, and then a good majority of the time people look up how much it costs and go, oh, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like all shaky and everybody's mad about it. So I can understand how you might think that this was just like a cheap camcorder. But no, it's like, if you buy it now, what I shoot on would be like $3,500, which is pretty absurd. And I understand that. There are like, Taylor, how much, you have a G20 or G50?
I think it's a G50. It's a pretty good deal. It has crazy zoom, and honestly, it's pretty good video.
The stabilization's really good
with the mic.
Yeah, the sound processing is what I didn't like. Although I can't remember, I didn't get a G50. I used to have a G20. But do you remember the one year I showed up to Airfest? I had a camcorder,
yeah,
and it was the audio just wasn't as impactful.
Did you have an external mic?
Yeah, I specifically seeked one out that had it, and then also not having the actual viewfinder on like a lot of modern camcorders is a little bit of a pain.
Yeah, I can only really get decent video with the viewfinder.
Yeah, it's because you have to push it against your face so you can see what's happening and keep track of it. Dude, I literally, as I was editing a bunch of shorts, there was one flight, I titled the video, like I named it, because that's how I do all the YouTube short names now. It's just the title of the video. And I was like, people ask why I don't use a tripod a lot, and this is a great example of something I never would have got on video if I did. But well, I can rant about the tripod thing all day, so we'll just steer clear of that section of the. We're not ranting today.
Rant.
Wait, Taylor wanted to rant at Matt, but maybe we should save that.
We're not ready yet. Yeah, we'll save it for the end.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's so nice.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, your phone is going to be solid enough if you're just using it for like keepsake memories or you want to post on social media or whatever. There's no like incessant need to like obsessively want a really long zoom lens and to track rockets super close all the way up like I do. In fact, YouTube Shorts have kind of proven that I could just post phone video and like the view count wouldn't be that different. So
yeah, and if you, I mean, a lot of the phones now have pretty decent zoom too. So
yeah, one of my first big TikTok videos was a video that Matt shot on his phone.
Speaking of Matt, if you really want to be about it, you can ask him where he got his phone lens from.
Oh, Amazon.
Dude, the telephoto phone lens. I have a picture of you playing with that somewhere. Matt, do you use an iPhone?
Yeah, it's an iPhone 12 Pro.
Dude,
Max.
I bought an iPhone 15 Pro. It's going to Taylor's house over right now.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't cross over. I'm developing an app called Rocket Logs, which is sort of just like a catch-all like flight logging, data logging, and all of this. And by the time this goes out, this might already be announced, but it's not going to be available in any short term. However, I am letting people on my Patreon test run it via the Discord. So if you want to check out the app sort of early as it's being developed, you go to patreon.com/rocketvlogs. You got to join, but it's like $1 a month on the cheap end, and then you get in the Discord. And I've just been opening the server and letting people play with it a little bit and saying, hey, make sure you save all your stuff because it's about to come down. But anyway, I needed an iOS testing platform. And I'll be completely honest, as a big Android fan for 90% of my life, iPhone 14 Pro and up, the cameras are unbelievable. It's just, for video, it's crazy. Even the non-Pro models are pretty solid, but like the Pro models, the stabilization, all of it is insane. And since they decided to switch to USB-C, I've been thinking about it for a long time. And I was like sort of halfway shopping for an iPhone so that I could work on this app stuff instead of having to ask my friends with iPhones to take a look at it. And I put in I paid $350 for an iPhone 15 Pro. So I was like,
what?
Put in a dumb low offer on eBay and they took it. And I was like, great, can you ship it to Kansas City, please? Because I will not be here. But yeah, so iPhone gang, I guess.
But you're not totally crossing over. Like you're still going to do Android and iOS, or
I'm gonna didn't realize the video bangs.
Well, that's the thing though, is I think I'll have a lot of fun in having something I can just shoot video on that doesn't have 8,000 Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube notifications every 10 seconds.
Yeah. True.
So it'll be, I thought about just getting like a second visible line and just having like a work number. And
there you go.
Just like put all the BS on that phone and just set it down. Turn all the notifications off so I can proceed to ignore it anyway. Yeah, anyway. Especially if you're shooting on an iPhone 14 or newer, the video is going to be more than good enough for what you want it for. They do like slow-mo and stuff. It's really good. I'm a big GoPro fanboy too. I'm simultaneously a big GoPro enthusiast and one of the biggest GoPro haters on the planet because they overheat and they suck, but there's not like a great alternative. But if you can just buy iPhone 15 Pros for less than a GoPro, then I'm about to show up with 15 of them and just have them all on tripods out of launch pads.
That'd be hilarious.
It would be funny. Okay. Did I go too far off topic there? I think they get it.
No, I think we're good. Yeah.
If you like really want to, 4K camcorders are nothing these days, but finding one that still has a viewfinder, I highly recommend, unless you're not going to be zoomed way in. But like filming with just a screen as a reference point in the sun is really hard. So, if you have camera equipment and you feel like bringing it out, sure. Otherwise, I wouldn't call any of it a necessity, especially if you want to watch your rocket. Taylor was like blown away when I filmed my own rocket the first time in front of him. And he's like, "Oh, you just like don't ever see your rockets fly." I was like, "That's correct. Never." I hear it. I see it digitally. Okay, what to buy while at the launch? If they got cool merch, that's always up there. At LDRS, be prepared if you're the kind of person that likes to spend hundreds of dollars recklessly at a time for there to maybe be fun colored Aerotech hardware, because you're never prepared for that. Sometimes it comes out of left field and then you're dropping $300 before you think about it.
Yeah, you just got to do it sometimes.
But yeah, merch, like a lot of clubs rely on merch money. So if you're going to like a big launch for a still fairly small club, I'd say, pick up a t-shirt or whatever. It wasn't a big launch, but MDARS, I just went and bought me and Shane shirts because they have the hardest logo in all of rocketry. It goes so crazy. I'm bringing that shirt, dude.
A lot of clubs at their big launches still do like raffles, so bring a couple 20s if you want to partake in the raffle.
There we go. Now we're talking.
And if you're Shane, you always win.
Yep. It's like that DJ Khaled song, dude. You always win, 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 no matter what. Thank you.
That's right.
Awesome. I'm happy that we all
only with raffles and slot machines.
Yeah, only gambling.
Yeah.
Have you bought any lottery tickets lately?
No,
that's true. We were supposed to be doing that because we were talking about how after we move, we're just going to magically be rich. So we were like, what if we just buy lottery tickets and one of us actually does? So we now have an outstanding deal. If either one of us wins the lottery, what was his, more than 50,000? Is that what we said?
No, I think it was 5.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything more than 5 or 10,000 or whatever it was, we're splitting.
Yeah.
So wish us luck, everybody. Okay. He says, finally, which launches are must attends for the high power experience? Obviously, we're all going to say Airfest for that one.
Yep.
Generally, just showing up to be a spectator is kind of outwardly frowned upon, but I'd say if you were there, you might believe that that's not true. But build yourself a big rocket or a minimum diameter rocket or something and find a reason to go to balls, because it's quite the experience. It's run more just like a regular launch these days. So they have the commercial motor minimum. Is it still K or is it L? I think it was L for a while. Now it's K.
It's K, I think.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing launch to attend. And I think technically, like, if you're a Tripoli member, I'm pretty sure they're generally fairly okay with you being a spectator, but I'm not going to make an official stance on that because I don't know. That launch, though, bring food, bring everything you will need for 5 days straight or however long you're going to be out there because there's nothing. Fernley, Nevada is like the closest really actual town where you can get stuff, and it's what, like an hour, maybe more. I think it's almost 2 hours to Reno. Now I'm 45, something like that. But other must attends. I mean, LDRS at least once in your lifetime, especially if it comes close by to you, is definitely worth attending. Pretty much no matter where, it's going to be fun.
Midwest Power is always a good time.
Oh yeah, of course. Midwest Party, more like. That's what MWP stand for.
Oh, I never. Yeah, you're right. It is Midwest Party. Yeah, going with low expectations, Midwest Power, and then proceed to be blown away by how fun it is without possibly flying any rockets.
Yeah.
Dude, it's such a good time. Get yourself what's the sandwich? A pork tenderloin sandwich?
Yeah.
Dude, I still haven't had one. You remember last year I was like, fine, I'm finally gonna actually do it, and they're like, we're out. I was like, no way, dude.
Yeah.
And then I had a hot honey, or it was supposed to be a Nashville hot chicken sandwich, but it was like they'd never actually looked into what that was. So I'm not gonna drag them too hard, but it was just like a frozen chicken patty with some honey on top. And I was like, that's not what that is, but okay. Dude, Taylor, when you guys come visit, we're like real close to a Dave's Hot Chicken now. Let's go.
Let's burn it up.
I was going to say something, but I'm trying to keep this podcast minimally edited, so we'll move on. What do we say we go to some Patreon people's input on this? Okay, great.
I'm ready.
Yeah. If you want to partake in these discussions, you can go to patreon.com/AGGpod. This is a fully self-funded podcast, and we don't have a lot of advertising opportunities. So, unfortunately, while self-funded is not free to run, actually quite expensive to have a podcast, believe it or not. And I have to burn my eyes out multiple hours a week making it happen. So we appreciate the support. Patreon.com/AGGpod, or you can go to patreon.com/RocketVlogs, as alluded to earlier. All the podcast stuff crosses over. So right now, Matt has been working on his Demon, and Postart is probably going to post some stuff from his Fat Boy that he's building. And they've already started posting 10-inch Nike Smoke stuff. So by the time this podcast comes out, you certainly haven't seen any Airfest videos yet. So if you want to see the full build, the Nike Smoke, and all of our future projects and everything we're independently working on, all 4 of us have access to that account. So patreon.com/AGGpod. And Rocket Flyer 1299 says, do you know much about bringing a tower to big launches? I brought mine to NSL, and it was super easy to coordinate setting it up. I'm just curious if they're more strict to Airfest or balls. In my experience, no. As long as you're not like, if you're out there setting up your tower and they're like, hey, we've got rockets to fly, we need you to come back in. Just like be cooperative and like don't be a time issue for anybody else, and generally people don't care.
Yeah, the easiest way to go about it is ask around for who you need to talk to about setting up a tower, and the best time to do that is probably after launch hours or at the very beginning of the day, and definitely don't be holding anybody up. But besides that, super cool, super easy to do.
Yeah, if you can set it up day before, like the day before you fly, generally that's the best move in our experience, because usually by the time you actually have a tower set up, you don't want to fly out of it anymore. Unless you're doing the 2-stage. For some reason, my tower is just like exempt from towerisms. We just somehow perfectly put it up straight every single time and then go. Tanner Conway says, as someone who's attending Airfest for the first time ever, I already know I will love this episode. My biggest fear is messing something up at a big launch. Dude, I understand where you're coming from. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions. If people, like, if you don't know how to do continuity test or whatever else, and they've got pad managers out there, or you just want to be like, hey, I just want to make sure I'm going to the right place. RSO, I have this. Do I need to do anything else? Just ask questions. People are generally going to be like, yeah, just helpful and answer your questions. And if they're not, they suck, and that's not your problem. So,
yeah, I guess if you've, I don't, not singling out that person necessarily, but I was just thinking if you've never, like, the idea of never having gone to a big launch before, maybe you don't know that pad managers are a thing. So there are people designated to a bank of pads that will take you out to the pad and assist with whatever it is that you need and take flight cards and all of that good stuff. And you can answer most of your questions.
Okay, Rod Thomas says, my limited experience, if you're used to flying a dozen rockets over the course of your rocket launch club day, be prepared to fly far fewer rockets at a big launch. Big launch may have a multitude of launch pads, but it also has a multitude of flyers. You'll be waiting longer before you can retrieve your rockets and waiting longer for your rockets to be fired. So dedicate yourself to being more of a spectator and really appreciate all the amazing rockets being flown by all the other Rocketeers. Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't fly with the, like, persistence that you could at a launch where there's 3 people and someone's just ready to push the button as soon as you're set up. That said, you could still get a lot of flying done in a place like Airfest because they have 2 sides of the range where one's pretty much always flying while the other's loading. The recovery stuff is a little bit more tedious because obviously you can't walk out on the range while there's a bunch of other rockets ready to fly. But in general, I'd say that I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like flying with Cloudbusters and Airfest, it's you never really have to wait too long unless you're trying, like, if you have to go to the away cell, you can end up in a line for that at a certain time of day, but generally not for the entire launch. So, but like flying a K motor, I've never really had to wait more than probably 10 minutes. I don't know.
He says, get familiar with all the rules of the event. They may be different from what you're familiar with. I went to a launch only to learn at the event that they didn't allow rockets to use launch lugs, rail buttons only. Almost all the mid-power rockets in my vehicle weren't allowed. That's stupid, but that's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, they're definitely better, but just disallowing them's a little bit crazy.
Back in the 20 years ago, when there was still kind of the switch over from rods was happening, I remember going to an LDRS where they said nothing above, I don't remember what it was, F or G motor or something, could fly off a rod. It had to be a rail. So we just bought a bunch of rail buttons and put them on our rockets. And then all of the rockets that had launch lugs then had rail buttons. So it all worked out.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting, but I understand where they're coming from. But, like, if I was running this launch, I was like, hey, we prefer rail buttons, but somebody showed up cars that don't have, or rockets that don't have rail buttons on them, I'm not going to be
I think it's dumb. I think it's dumb, but I don't know.
DRS says, if you're flying, take the time to make a checklist ahead of time and bring it along with you. There'll soon be an app for that. I shouldn't say soon. Just like a pilot flying in an airplane, things can go bad in a hurry, and having a checklist will make sure that you carry out all of your steps and make your flight a success. Remember, one misstep can turn a successful certification flight into a big oops, better luck next time. Dude, I think, Matt, you could really benefit from checklists.
Definitely. Yeah.
I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
No, I totally get that.
I think it's one of those things where, like, when I was growing up flying rockets, my dad was always there for me to be, like, saying stuff as I'm doing things, and then he would remind me if I forgot something or vice versa, right? So Taylor and I have had that sort of situation for so long that we're just sort of on autopilot and everything's implemented mentally now. Mm-hmm. But having a checklist is a good thing. And Matt, there's no way for me to do advanced releases on iOS. That's the problem. Because with Android, I could just compile an APK and then I can just have the app functioning on my phone. But Apple's Apple about everything, unfortunately. But yeah, I think checklist would do you some good, Matt.
I agree.
I still use them all the time, mostly just for remembering what to bring. Like, for example, I was like, hey, Taylor, put anything you think of on this checklist for my packing. And somehow I didn't have that I needed to pack the M1939 on there yet, which is crazy. I was like, we got to get the K540s from BMS. And I looked and Taylor just put M1939. I was like, oh, yeah, that also.
I like to think we would have remembered, but also I can't guarantee that.
Yeah. As I was putting that on there, I was just thinking, what if they drove here and were like, oh, we forgot the M motor?
We're borrowing your M2400 in that case, I guess. DRS continues. Drink water more than you think you need. Yep. Bring sunscreen. Yes. Bring a wide brim hat to cover the back of your neck. Yeah, that's always a good call. The AMW flap ones are a classic. Don't be afraid to ask any flyer to explain their project or answer any questions that you might have. This is one I struggle with personally because I always want to talk to people at the pads for the camera interviews and everything, but I never want to talk to people that I don't know and just like distract them because then I get yelled at like Taylor at LDRS in Bonneville.
What did I do?
When you got yelled at while you were the RSO?
Didn't you make a rocket come in ballistic?
Oh, yes. That's right.
No,
yes,
he didn't, but yeah.
No, he did. He did.
Oh, yeah. Taylor ruined some guy's entire weekend.
That's right.
I find this hobby is made up of incredibly sharing people who love talking about their projects as much as building and flying them. They're happy to explain people who are newer to the hobby they're doing and it's why it's being done that way. For example, ask how dual deploy works. Ask how different types of electronics are. Ask why they prep the way they prep. Remember, the only questions out of bounds is how much does that cost, especially when the flyer's wife or significant other is within earshot. Yeah, dude, I get asked that pretty much endlessly. Well, we're signing ourselves up for it by having 16-foot tall rocket, but like, there's a decent amount of spectators that come out to big Argonia launches, and that's all anybody wants to know. Like, this thing's huge. They can see how big it is, so they don't have to ask. They ask what motors it has
thing cost
and how much money it was. And we're like, 10 grand. All right. Don't make me think about this anymore. See you later. David Ayati? Ayat? I don't know. Sorry, David. Says, my first launch was in the middle of a 5-mile wide lake in the dead of the winter. I was certainly not prepared enough, but I didn't die. I can't imagine too many prefects have the same situation, but ice spikes, dry socks, good boots, and a sled to tow your gear. So, dude, I kind of want to go to one of those launches. That's crazy.
Yeah, it looks fun.
For 99% of the rest of you, I'm going to repeat water for the 18th time. Yeah, pretty much everybody here says water, a lot of it. I drank 6 bottles of water and 2 bottles of Gatorade at my last launch and was still dehydrated. Yeah, you got to fill the gaps with Diet Dr. Pepper, generally.
And energy drinks.
Yeah.
Like
for every water, drink 4 Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Bring an easy up and folding table, pack a cooler with more than you think you need. Support on-site vendors. It keeps them coming back. Bring trash bags. Okay, there's a lot of reiterating stuff that we've touched on in here. So let me skim a little bit here. There was one in particular I wanted to address, but I don't want to go on forever. Brian Clark says, drink water, obviously. Says 2, Braden will get video, Jim will get pictures of liftoff. You should watch your rocket. Maybe you get some photos of the flight line, the people, the mediocre food, etc. Don't put that on me. Don't put that expectation in people's minds, dude. I miss a lot of stuff, especially with the way that the videos are kind of going now, where I'm trending more towards just focusing on like a handful of cool projects versus endlessly shooting the same launch, because I've been doing that for 6 years now, and it's just tedious, and they just don't get views like they used to. The times are changing, and this is more kind of like the extreme rocketry sort of format where I just highlight stuff, but more importantly, we're probably going to see a lot less length in launch videos because I want to fly rockets, people. I have so much rocket stuff now. And when I'm planning on going out of town, mostly what I'm focused on is shooting people's videos for them. And that's just really not where I think I want to be. Because, I mean, with like Rockets Magazine and Extreme Rocketry and stuff, they had, without trying to sound terrible, paying customers. And if the videos of launches like that were self-sustaining, then that'd be one thing, but they're not. I'm spending money to do it, so I'd like for it to be something that I enjoy. I am getting some of it back, obviously, and I can't complain because most people that do this hobby don't get any money back. But most people that do this hobby don't also spend thousands of dollars traveling to launches to not fly a rocket. So I just wanted to throw all of that out there in response to this comment, because don't rely on me to get video. If I get video of your rocket, fantastic. You get to see it on the YouTube channel and you're free to buy a copy of it. But I don't want anybody to ever have any expectations that I'm going to get a video of their rocket, because sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. He continues, if you might succumb to go fever because you can't go to a big launch and not fly, bring an option that is small and simple. Yeah, we already talked about that. You will probably get lots of opinions about your rockets, sometimes without even asking. Be open-minded, but also take everything with a grain of salt. Love that advice. Man, if I could recall all the things that people have told me that I've done wrong. People that just started flying rockets within the past year or two love to talk about everything that I do wrong. Dude, my favorite one was still the twist and tape one, where that was a good one. The dude hated it, and then I flew a couple big rockets like that, and he's like, oh, I love watching this. See, look how he sets this up. And there was another person I was sitting there chatting with who's been flying since like the 90s. And he's like, this is just how we did it, man. This is, he's like, he's been here forever. Knee high to a grasshopper, that person, when I met them. I don't know if that's true. I was never very short.
Braden was born 6 feet tall.
Dang.
200 pounds.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Just a
really filled out.
big baby. Yeah.
Yeah. It grew out and then sort of back in. But dude, I was going to make a short out of me building my 7.5-inch Fat Boy and just open it up by being like, I love the Estes Fat Boy because it's a classic design and it was my nickname in high school. So I decided to build a big one. Okay. Andrew says, as a flyer, be patient. There's a lot of people flying and backups can happen. Plan accordingly regarding batteries and general expectations. Yeah, make sure you've got plenty of charge in them, their batteries. If you can't, just go buy them from the convenience store. Soak the experience in. Volunteer so you can get up close. Gives you a great opportunity to learn from others and ask questions. Colin Brum says, plan the cost of gas and the meals in advance. That was something I overlooked when I went to my first big launch alone, and it ended up being twice as expensive as I expected because I was mostly just thinking about the hotel cost. Yeah. The travel expenses get crazy really fast, especially if you're driving actually halfway across the country like Postart and I do. Peter Way says, first, be patient with the RSO and LCO, etc. Next, plenty of water for sure. Make sure you put sunscreen on. More important, if the LCO calls heads up, stand up and look up. You see the rocket, point to it. Yeah, you do get a lot of people just kind of ignoring when things like that are happening or not really paying attention. Definitely should. Okay, one last comment. Does anyone have anything else they wanted to add that they've thought of throughout this?
I was thinking like at a big launch, really I've seen this happen a lot, like what the launch director or a lot of times the RSO says, like that's what you got to go with. Even sometimes there's rules that are in place because it's a big launch and there's a lot of people there you have to do things just to like err on the side of caution. And someone has to make that decision. And if that's not exactly how it would go at your monthly launch, that's part of going to a big launch and not flying it with 3 other people at your local club launch. And so,
yep,
you could be upset about it and complain, but that's not going to make you any friends. And so sometimes you just got to swallow it and go, yeah, well, that's just part of it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how far downrange they're getting you to turn your rocket, even if there's things you really don't want your rocket landing in that direction. You just gotta suck it up and deal with it. For example, just if anything like that were to come your way. Okay. Last comment comes from Liam. Says, think about how much water you should bring, then imagine, we already talked about water. Don't be scared to talk to people. I highly suggest talking. We already talked about that. Bring a table. Take from someone that's done assembling a rocket on the ground. It sucks. Yeah. If you happen to be going to a launch where the AGG will be, bring a pallet of diet DDP. Okay. Okay.
That's very kind.
He's cooking.
We do accept energy drinks too, though.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Sugar-free ones are generally like most applicable to all of us, but like Shane likes the OG Red Bulls, especially the watermelon one. Especially the watermelon.
Goes crazy.
If you bring us water, we will reject it. So don't bring us water.
Can you get that on my face, please? Thank you.
Just smack it on the ground.
Get that out of here.
Get out of here. Water with no flavor?
Boring.
I like this one too. Never assume that just because you're older than someone, you have to give them advice.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Take that one to heart. Make sure you have mostly rail buttons because some clothes don't have bigger rods. Yeah, I mean, the whole rod discussion we just had kind of applies explicitly to 1/4-inch ones.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll see some old guy that comes to a big launch that clearly hasn't been to this particular launch in a while and be like, what do you mean you don't have any 3/8 launch rod? How am I going to fly my rocket?
How am I going to fly my IROC that I built in 1994?
Hello, dude that came from 1997. Have you not been to a launch in a while?
It seems like it's been a minute, huh? Okay. Well, I think that does it for us, folks. Anybody got anything else?
I think we covered it all.
Not really.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a little bonus. I was going to go off on Matt. Completely unrelated, but Matt has been putting in a rain barrel at his house.
An underground
or as
rain
Matt
barrel.
calls it, a cistern. Is that right?
Your enunciation's a little awkward there, so you need to put it more in the front. It's cistern, not cistern.
Well, anyway, he dug a giant hole by hand.
That's right.
And what are you using the water for?
Well, what I'm planning on doing with this water, ladies and gentlemen of the rocketry community, is planning on irrigating flowers and other things.
And how many flowers do you have right now?
I mean, I have a small flower bed, but the plan is to have a huge flower bed with lots of nice smells and have a patio out front. That way I can sit there.
So Matt spent the last few weeks, instead of building rockets, he decided he was going to dig a 12-foot hole to store water that he doesn't need. And now he's coming down to the wire on his rocket projects because he's digging a 12-foot hole by hand. Well, throw it down in the comments. If you dug a 12-foot deep hole in your yard, would you do it by hand or would you get a mini excavator? Let us know.
Okay, it's a 5-foot deep hole, not a 12-foot deep hole, but it kind of felt
How
like
wide
12
is
feet.
it?
It's 5 feet wide. Well, maybe a little bit wider than 5 feet, but it's a
big hole. Stanley Yelnats do it.
Yeah.
Wait, is that from Holes?
It is from Holes. Yeah.
All right, got that. and also, part of the reason I did this was because the Johnson County will reimburse you up to half the cost of the project, and I was worried that they were not going to fund me if I didn't complete it in time. So that was part of the reason, but I also understand that
they have a timeline on that.
Once they run out of funds, they run out of funds for the year. So I was like,
you could have just done it next year when you have flowers.
I know. Well, but I'm planning. Okay, sure.
All right,
but you put flowers in just in time for winter to get here, Matt.
Well, you can put them in.
He's planting his winter flowers.
I'm wanting to redo the front landscaping, so I'm going to remove some of the stuff which you don't want to remove in the summertime.
The water is dirt.
I do need to water my dirt.
We got a lot of dirt.
We're familiar with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, you just got to come for the roller coaster January or February trip, and then you can sit in our yard that everything's still alive because it's California.
Oh, that's a good idea. You guys have some dirt I can look at?
No, we have grass
we've
now.
got
and
grass
flowers.
and fruit trees.
Yeah.
The old place had dirt.
Avocados.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll bring some
We'll
bread
sit and
and
have
we can-
morning coffee outside. It's pretty fun. Okay.
That's what this. Yeah. Thank you for that roast. That was nice.
You're welcome.
All right. My name is Braden Carlson. You can find me right here on YouTube at Rocket Vlogs, or go check out my Facebook, Braden Carlson, my personal Facebook page, because for some reason, Facebook doesn't want to monetize the Rocket Vlogs page that now has 155,000 followers. But for some reason, they monetized my personal page. So I've just been posting videos on my personal page and then inviting myself as a collaborator with Rocket Vlogs. So if you want to help me out for free, go share all of those videos all over the place. Just every time I post one, share it to like 30 Facebook groups and just spam Facebook for me, because for some reason they don't want to monetize the one that actually has reach. I don't know what to do more about any of this, dude, but you can follow Rocket Vlogs on Instagram and Facebook as well. We might as well keep bumping those numbers up, even though it's seemingly for nothing, because followers don't mean anything anymore. You still randomly get views and not from the people that follow you. I don't know, man. I hate this. I just want to fly rockets, dude. You can also follow my personal Instagram, BigB1011. If you want to send an email to us, I forgot that there's emails. We'll read them in the next one. If you want to send an email to us, it's contact@aggpodcast.com, or is it aggpod.com? No, it's aggpodcast. Aggpod is the Patreon that you can go to if you want to support us there. And let me make sure that's correct. Yes, it's aggpodcast.com. Contact@aggpodcast.com. That's contact@aggpodcast.com. Send us an email. We'll read it, usually. Maybe in an episode after the one that we forgot
about. My name is Taylor, and you can find me on YouTube at The Rocket Channel.
Oh, that's it? All right.
Yeah. And if you want to find Nigel, he's here.
Oh, wow.
Can we add a spot on the Rocket Vlogs Discord to ask Nigel questions?
Dude, we should set up the AI thing and make it Nigel. You want to field like questions for Nigel?
Yeah, so we can say, if you have any questions for Nigel.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. That'd be hilarious. That seems like a live stream activity. Most of the people aren't going to be interested, but.
My name is Shane, or Postart. You can find me on YouTube at Postart Propulsions, where I'm now shooting a video, so that'll come out in 2027.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
On Instagram at Shane Harris Photo.
My name is Cistern Hole Digger 1011, and you can find me right here on the Rocket Vlogs.
in the hole.
In the 12-foot deep hole. Crying.
Oh man, we are the Anti-Gravity Group. This is the Anti-Gravity Group podcast, and we will see you all next time.
We might just hear from Nigel the Rocket Cat. Load up the professional masterpiece, you can bet on that. A launch and a chat with them is guaranteed to be a blast. It's the Anti-Gravity Group podcast. Ooh.